Hello.
Aaron, please.
This is Aaron.
How are you this morning?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Looks like we have an electrical inspection scheduled for this AM.
That is correct.
Excellent. Well, according to my GPS, it says I should be at your property in about 30 minutes. Does that work for you?
That's perfect.
See you.
All right. Thank you. Now we're just waiting for 8 to get out of the truck and come over. He is coming.
Morning. It's Nate. I'm on service today. You are?
Aaron.
Nice to meet you. My car parked okay outside?
Yeah, fine.
Ooh, it's cold out today.
That's very chilly.
Oh, we pushed on the radio on the way here. It's supposed to get about 6 this weekend. Happy about that.
Almost 70.
Really?
Yep.
Got any big plans?
Yard work.
That's fun. Kind of a little bad. Saw you had some pumpkins out front. The Halloween fans?
Not really.
No.
No,
Okay.
we don't like trick or treating.
Really? How are you going to keep them away?
Turn all the lights on.
Does that work?
Nope.
Okay. All right. They don't still come up. It's okay if I just put this over here?
You can just hang it up on the.
Okay. So they still don't come to your house even though you do that. This is the first time you've had an electrical inspection?
It is.
Okay. Excellent. Have you used our company before?
Nope.
All right, first time.
Free inspection from the fair.
Free inspection from the fair. Okay, so you're lucky. Okay. Well, I guess a good place to start would be your electrical.
You guys are gonna have to talk up loud. Switch right to the lead. Yeah, you guys are gonna have to talk real loud.
Okay. Got here heating panel. How long have you lived in your home?
8 years.
8 years? Okay. When was your home built?
1986.
1986. Gotcha. Excellent. So you won the inspection from the state fair, so you've never worked with our company before?
Nope.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. What are you opening getting from today's electrical inspection?
They just told me somebody was gonna show up for an electrical inspection, so I really don't know what it entails.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll definitely let you know all about that. Let you know what I'm here for. But my main goal today is to make sure your home is safe and reliable.
Okay.
Excellent. So you lived here for 8 years. It gives you plenty of time to kind of get to know your home a little bit. Have you had any electrical issues along the way?
Not really.
Okay. No lights flickering, anything like that?
No.
Okay. How about any power outages common in the area?
No.
Nope. Have you had any of these breakers trip at all?
Nope.
Wow. All right. That's good. Everything seems to be working perfect for you then.
Yeah.
All right. As I'm doing my inspection today, are there any computers on or any expensive electronic equipment that I should be mindful of?
Yes.
Okay. What do we got?
Wife works from home.
Okay.
So she's working right now, so.
All right. What room? If you have an office downstairs, upstairs?
Office downstairs.
Downstairs. And I'll make sure to stay clear of that. And then since she's working from home, you still may She's gonna be online, so where's your modem located? I wanna make sure I don't.
Basically the living room downstairs.
Living room downstairs. So have you had any?
They say it's still really quiet. Sorry. Get it put together.
Have you had any electrical work done in your home?
As far as
Remodeling, have you replaced any outlets, replaced any light fixtures, anything
I
like that?
replaced the ceiling fan this last weekend.
Okay, did you do that?
Yep.
Okay. Everything's working fine out there with you, right? Good job. So do you have any electrical experience, or you just kind of threw it up and called it good? And I know how
Put it
to
up
do
and call it good.
Okay, excellent. All right. You have a comfortable place where we can sit. I just want to tell you a little bit more about what you can expect from today's electrical visit.
Yeah, we can go upstairs to the dining room.
Okay, perfect. Lead the way.
Did you just put that into Slack?
No, if I just took a picture of this, so I have it, so I can't update it.
Did you take it through Service Titan?
Correct.
Okay.
I take all my pictures through Service Titan, so that way I can easily update them at any point, and plus they're saved as well, so that way I don't have to transfer them from my phone.
Okay.
Yeah. So I just want to kind of let you know about the electrical visits. We're Service Today. We want to be the best service provider around. We do heating, cooling, electric, and plumbing. I've been in the service industry all my life because I like helping people, and Service Today allows me to do that. So I get to go into people's homes, make sure they're safe and reliable, and that's important to me. We do have a 4 belief system. We believe that you deserve the most professional technicians in your home. We believe that you deserve to know all the knowledge about your electrical system. We believe that you get to make what decision works best for you and your home. And we believe that you deserve a company that stands behind their work. That sounds like a company you want to work with?
Yeah.
Most of our customers agree. We do have a 4.78 on Home Advisor. We're also accredited members of the Better Business Bureau with an A+ rating. I was actually in Mary's home about 3 weeks ago, and she recognized her own review, so I thought that was pretty cool. We have a 4.6 on Google. We also have a 4.6 on Facebook as well. And we are now Google Guarantee members too. Are you familiar with that at all?
No.
Okay. Well, Google does this program where if you search their company or our company through Google and they have a green check mark next to it, that means Google has vetted that company and they stand behind that company. So going forward, if you were to do any work in your home that you're not satisfied with, Google can refund you up to $2,000.
Okay.
We have too many awards to mention, but I do like to point out we were best electrician in Minneapolis in 2021. And we also did get gold and platinum awards for hiring veterans as well. We are safety certified, which means all our technicians are drug tested, background checked, and professionally trained. We're also green screen, which means we recycle, dispose of hazardous materials properly, and offer all our customers eco-friendly products. We're also members of the Clean Air Indoor Pollution Alliance, and that is, we're committed to tackling indoor air pollution. We honor all manufacturer warranties on all makes and models, so everybody out there, we honor all their warranties. And we are licensed, bonded, and fully insured, so we have $2 million in liability insurance and $500,000 in workers' compensation. So if I were klutzy today and trip and fall and knock something over, that's no charge to you, your homeowner's insurance. That's taken care of by us. What you can expect from today's visit is I'm going to be very thorough. I'm going to give you lots of information. It's going to take me about 45 minutes to an hour, given the scope of your size of your home. Does that work for you?
Sure. Yep.
Okay. As I'm doing my system and safety evaluations, if I find anything that's hazardous or needs your immediate attention, do you want me to take care of those today or just list those with my findings?
Just let me know and we can take it from there.
Okay, then I'll definitely let you know what I find. And then I'll give you some options at that point. And then from there, you can choose what option works best for you in your home. And then we're gonna guarantee all of our work. We're gonna get the job done right. And then we'll do any paperwork at the end if necessary. And since you are the lucky winner from the state fair, there is no charge for you today for today's service fee.
Okay.
If we were to go forward and do any work or any repair, we'll let you know your investment to the penny before any work is started. We do all our pricing up front. Then we also do our 100% satisfaction guarantee. We do a 1-year service and repair guarantee. And on our bigger ticket items, we do a lifetime for our electrical panel and main service. And then we also do a 3-year guarantee on equipment and fixtures. We do also do shape memberships as well. So this is our program where we offer you to have yearly inspections for all services for heating, plumbing, air conditioning, and furnaces. So you get a year inspection. Also, you get 10% off any work that we do in there. And we also give you front of the line benefits too. So if you have anything that needs done, any emergencies, we bump you ahead too as well. Do you have any questions about any of that?
Nope.
Okay. With that being said, I'm gonna get started with my inspection. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through your home. Use this little guy right here. This is a circuit analyzer. This really gives me a good starting point on the status of your electrical system. So I'll be going through your home and checking its vital signs, essentially like checking your home's blood pressure. Where can I find you when I'm done?
I'll be up here working from home temporarily.
Okay, all right.
Now, if you want, Nate, you can just explain what it is you're going to be doing and then do a couple of them.
Okay, sure. The first thing that I do is I head back to the panel, then I open that up, check that all out, and then I just go for the closest outlet for wherever the panel is, get my voltage readings there. And then after that, I just start going throughout the home and I check at least 1, preferably 2 outlets per room. And then from there, I get all my information, come back and find the customer and kind of go over what I find. Assuming I do find high voltage drop, that's what I'm bringing to their attention right away. If I don't, I'll just keep going with my inspection and then get information. So. You want me to actually look up the panel too?
No, you don't have to do that.
Okay.
Just concentrate on the checking. I've checked some of the
Gotcha.
rooms.
Maybe hard to find.
So, like you mentioned, there are some times where outlets are hard to find, so I just try to find the closest ones. Everybody's used the circuit analyzer before, so you know how they work. And then what I'll do is I always take pictures of the voltage drop numbers, and then I'll obviously write it down to it in our on our paperwork. And again, I take all pictures in the iPad. They don't take the best photos, but I figure for a picture of voltage drop, you don't really need something that's perfect. That. And then we go to obviously our QCA sheet. And I just write everything down here. I'm gonna put master bedroom. And then numbers are 7.4 and 112.4. So 121. And then if there's any grounding issues, I'll put that there as well too. And then I just go through and try to take 1 or 2 readings per room, and then get all that information to build value, and then go take it back to the customer. What I find.
Go ahead and take some more.
Okay.
When do you post in Slack? Go through that.
Gotcha. Okay. After I get a couple readings, usually if I do find something higher that allows me to have a low percentage and a high percentage, then that's when I input into Slack. So I take photos of the panel, one inside, one outside, to update right away, and then also voltage drop information. I try to do that within the first half hour if possible. That way the office can track what I'm doing, and if they have any suggestions, they can let me know via Slack.
I'd like to see a high voltage drop rate.
Also, with your circuit analyzer too, you can test GFCIs as well too. That's another thing I'll do is you can hit it twice, it'll trip it. Then once you reset it, and it'll tell you your readings and how fast it tripped, whether it's still functioning properly or not. Make sure all the lights and fans work everywhere in every room. Also in the bedrooms, make sure that they have a smoke detector. Check that too to see if it has if it's old or not functioning. So we do have one. I'm gonna check the year on it. It's from 2020, so that's still good. Then if they're in a utility room, I always kind of look and check to see if there's a water meter in here, make sure that's jumped as I go through, just to save myself time from doing the system evaluation and my safety inspection. So I'll kind of look through other things as I go and not just check those at the end. We do have a higher voltage drop here. Also, if I'm testing in the kitchen or anything else, you make sure that I switch it from 15 amp to 20 amps as well, only on 20 amp circuits. Over here. So again, I always try to test the ones that are most accessible and also ones that don't have things where I have to unplug them. So I don't want to accidentally unplug the modem or something while somebody's working from home, knock them off their Zoom call like here. Sorry, my handwriting is not as good as it normally is.
Usually have before you're done.
Usually this thing is completely full before I present to the customer. I have enough information.
And why have you found that was important?
Because it builds value. If you show up in somebody's house and you take 3 or 4 voltage drop readings and then you go present to the customer, it usually seems more like a sales pitch where you come in like, hey, I found this issue, now I'm trying to sell you something. Where if you take more time in their house and you're actually finding things that shows them that you are trying to do your job and figure out what's going on in their house and give them all the information.
And then let's do the closest to the panel.
I always shut off the lights and plug everything back in when I leave a room, just because you don't want to have the customers call and say, hey, you forgot to plug in a clock or something like that. It's go throughout the home. You always want to get one reading that's closest to the panel as well. No, perfect. One right there. Sometimes the others are a little hard to find, but normally you can get them. So I do have a low one. Again, I always take pictures of the readings. So that way, just because I don't show up and just show them numbers on a piece of paper, they have evidence of the things I showed them as well too, so I have something to back it up.
All right, so let's say that you've got your whole thing filled out now.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll take it from there.
Cool. So now once I have everything, I have my evidence built up. I'm gonna go find the customer.
Do you put it in Slack first or not?
Yes, sorry.
Let's do that.
Gotcha.
Hey, Nick. If you could show the Slack channel.
I go through and click on the Slack channel. And I'll go down, and then what I do is I'll just take another customer from the day before.
Oh, he actually has your Slack channel.
Oh, he does.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Aaron.
So the first thing is I'll just paste in the information. And then
So what he did in Slack is he has a copied template of the information. He pasted it in, and now he is just filling in type of call, electrical inspection, Free State Fair promotion, 5 out of 5, first time using us. Panel brand.
sometimes you can't find the year, so I guess it's original to the home if I can't find inspection date on it. And then our lowest voltage drop was 2.8, and our highest so far is 8.1. Now, in certain cases, I will add it to Slack whenever it's convenient as I'm going throughout the home. But sometimes I will find a voltage drop that's higher later on, so I'll just go edit that and then change
Oh,
that as I go.
cool, you edit it. All right.
Yep. And then I would normally take off the panel and tell me the type of wiring as well.
Go ahead and just send that, or is it already?
Nope, I can send it right there.
I want to see it. Bam, it just showed up here.
Perfect. So then I also will, just for people at the office, I will send a couple pictures of the voltage drop and also the panel, just so they can kind of see as well what I'm working with. It takes a little while. Usually you can send 2 pictures at a time, just because sometimes you're in a bad service area and Slack sometimes has trouble sending pictures.
Beautiful. All right, let's go ahead and grab Aaron.
Okay.
Now, in a perfect world, this is where he would call his manager
Right.
and let the manager know what he's doing.
Exactly. And then you can look at Slack because I have all the information in there so far. And that way he can reference any ideas that he has or give me any suggestions on how to proceed. In this case, I'm assuming Jeff would say, hey, proceed with the QCA since we found some high voltage drop.
I'd say, dang, dude, you're good. Just keep going. Do what you do.
All right. Hey, Aaron, can I teach you a couple things about your electrical system? Sure. Excellent. So as I mentioned before, I did use this little guy right here, your circuit analyzer, and it told me a lot of things about your home electrical system. So if you want to follow me, I just want to kind of show you what this told me and showed me. Go. So now, when I plug this into an outlet, this tells me a lot of things about your electrical system. So what it's doing is it's tricking your electrical system into thinking an appliance is plugged in. So let's say a vacuum cleaner. In this case, I had it set to pull a 15 amp load. So it'll tell me if there's a ground present. It'll also tell me the voltage coming into your home. That's what you get from the power company. Can't change that. 121.4 is good. 120 is perfect. So you're still in that sweet spot. Then in this case, you do have a 7.1% voltage drop, and your actual voltage at this outlet is 112.8. So normally at this point, I would show him a few more places of higher voltage drop, and then I would tell him why that's important. For this case, we're just going to do the one. Or
Yeah, go ahead and tell them why it's important.
okay. So when I test for voltage drop, the reason why that's important to you is because when you have voltage drop, that's telling you that there is resistance in your electrical system. And when you have resistance in your electrical system, that resistance is taking electrical energy and it's turning it into heat energy. That's good for certain home appliances like your coffee maker or your toaster. You take electrical energy, you run it through a coil in those devices, and that produces heat. We like to see that there. What I don't want to see when we have these high voltage drop numbers is telling me that there's potentially little tiny toasters behind your walls, and that is hazardous. Like you mentioned earlier, you wanted me to let you know if there's anything hazardous in your home. That's why I'm coming to you right now, because this is something we should definitely talk about. So then I'll take it back to the kitchen and go over the numbers there.
Start that Kool-Aid there.
As I went through your home, all the locations that I checked for high voltage drop, that's the voltage coming into your home, or that's the voltage coming into your home, that's your actual voltage drop, and that's the actual voltage at those outlets. Now you can see you have a lot of locations that have extremely high voltage drop, and that's what I wanted to bring to your attention, because it's telling me there's a lot of heat going on in the circuits in your home. It's not just one location, it's all over your home. You also have this voltage here at all those potential outlets. When you have electronics, they all work at 120 volts. Now, when you don't have that 120 volts, everything in your home has to work harder to get that voltage it needs. So all your iPads, your phones, your televisions, everything that has anything electronic is now working harder to get that voltage it needs. Therefore, meaning you're decreasing their lifespans, anything with a circuit board. Voltage drop is especially hazardous to anything that has a motor in it as well too. So think of everything in your home that has a motor, your washer and your dryer, your refrigerator, your furnace has at least 2, 3, if not 4 or 5 motors inside of it. So they're all affected by that voltage drop, because once those motors get up to where they need to run, they start to have that voltage drop. It starts pulling more amperage, and that's what does the most damage to those motors, and again decreases their lifespan. Also, our governing body, NEC, doesn't want to see more than a 5% voltage drop at any particular outlet in your circuits in your home. The NEC, to me, they create the safety standards that we have to abide by today. They're like the FDA for food, let's say, for example. When you have, and they also say when you have high voltage drop and you combine that with poor connections, you get the perfect storm, what we like to call glowing connections. I've seen them before. I actually had a friend a week ago had one of their outlets literally burn up inside of it because it had one of those glowing connections that actually melted the wire. So we've seen it before where, you know, ideally if we were, when we do any installs on anywhere, we want to take all those wires, twist them together, and that wire nut's just a cap you put on to protect the wires. I've seen before with these poor connections where they just take the wires, they put the cap, the wire nut on, and that holds them together. Well, if you have one of those connections that are glowing, it melts the wire nut. Now you just have the wires split apart, and they're sitting here arcing and sparking, causing all kinds of damage. And these numbers are telling me that this definitely a possibility to have COVID. Now, my recommendation to you when we see these high voltage drop numbers is to do what's called the QCA, that's quality connection analysis. That would get a field supervisor out here, and they would come through your home and use a second set of eyes and go through all and open up all the outlets and switches needed to figure out, number one, what's causing those problems. And then once they know what's causing those problems, then they can offer you the proper solutions on what to do about it. I like here like a basic example of your home's electrical system, you know, your panel, all these outlets goes to switches and fixtures. I like to say your electrical system's like your body's circulatory system. Say your heart's your panel, it pumps blood or voltage through your arteries, it goes through all these different connections. It comes back through the neutral wires, back through your veins, back to your heart. So now if you have high voltage drop in your system, that's telling me like you have a lot of high cholesterol, a lot of blockage going on. So it's really working your heart more. It's causing other problems throughout your body because of all these blockages going on. And it can potentially cause damage, and obviously you have a system failure because of that as well. And then you also have your grounding system, which I like to say is kind of like your body's nervous system. It's something you never want to use, but it's there for your protection. So if you have any grounding issues in your system, that's your safety net. And at any point, you don't want to use it. So it's there for that purpose. So that all being said, we have these concerns going on. We have the QCA that I recommend that you move forward with. What would you like to do at this point? How would you like to move forward?
Talk it over.
Let's talk it over
Yep.
with the girlfriend.
Yep.
Okay. If she was here right now, what do you think she would say?
That we would need to talk it over.
Okay, gotcha. Does she have any time later on today that we can maybe talk to her right now? I find it's easier if I can articulate the information as well, or how to talk to her about
I mean, not really. I mean, she has her own business, so she's her only employee, so she hard to pull her away. So.
it. Okay, gotcha. If she were to have to choose one of these options, which one do you think she would pick?
Probably just the lowest level.
Just the lowest level? Okay. All right. Well, let me continue my safety evaluation and then get some more information, and then I'll come back and find you in a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Thanks. When I go through, check the rest of the stuff on our inspection checklist. So I'll look at the water meter, I'll go outside and open up the meter. I will, if I haven't done so already, I'll finish it up at the panel. And usually there's some cases where I find things at the panel. So at this point too, I would show them that.
So
it's not
you
just
open the
voltage
panel
drop.
then during your system evaluation?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. Because usually I'm already there anyways taking pictures, so that just gives me more evidence. So at least I have the panel evidence too as well that I can bring up if I get a rejection here, then I'll add that to it. But all I do after this is just go through the house and just collect more evidence to repropose the QCA to the customer.
Okay. All right, Nick. Are you there? I can't hear you. Hey, Nick, if you'd like to open one of those Slack channels in the past from Nate would be great to show the information that he gives.
I got you all set for financing so we can place that pen.
While they're doing that, I just wanted to comment on a few things. Can everybody hear me?
Previous owner put a hot tub in, and then this used to be a model home.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I don't know if Nate can hear me, but amazing
So
job.
at this
Like
time,
textbook
if you
perfect.
notice, Nate's not giving any options or any proposals for electrical work at this time. It's an inspection, so he's doing everything he can to bring to light, okay, this is your electrical system. This is the condition of it. This is how we can move forward. And if the client does not want to move forward with the QCA, then he continues with his safety evaluation to build evidence towards re-proposing the QCA. Still going back to Nick, wondering if we could get one of those Slack channels up so that I really would like the guys to see Nate's information that he gives. It takes a lot of time.
Who'd you go to yesterday?
First one was that Kathy.
Show. Yeah. Tell them to pull up like Barb Show.
Right. So Nick is still working on Slack, but yeah, great, awesome job. I know this is an inspection, but I would literally do this same process on an install call or a repair call. Like, it doesn't matter the reason you're there. You can do this same process, because if somebody has a problem in their home, you're going there for a repair call. This packs so much more punch. And now the customer's not going to think, oh, I have a problem with just my living room outlets or my garage outlets. It's, oh, I have a whole house problem here. And it packs a punch for a whole house solution instead of just a problem solution. So I'll stop here while this pulls up.
Jeff, can you see his Slack channel?
I don't know if Jeff can hear what's going on Zoom.
I just got it and I can hear now. So sorry about that. Go ahead.
He's got his Slack channel pulled up right now.
Yep. You can see all the amazing pictures that he gives. That's great for a manager. You just come right in and they can take a quick peek at those and see exactly what's going on.
This is a good opportunity to talk about the virtual ride along that we're going to be really talking about. We don't need to do a lot of phone calls. These pictures speak for themselves. We see illegal wiring, we see old panel, we see high voltage drop. We don't need to do a lot of phone calls if it's all through Slack. It's like, wow, poor installations, propose a QCA. Like, we don't need a lot of phone calls. That helps. We see a lot of problems. Pictures are 1,000 words, right?
Yes, that is true. Did you happen to notice on that ceiling with that smoke alarm there, that the plaster was falling off the ceiling? Looked like there was water damage right above where that smoke alarm was.
Beautiful pictures. We don't even need to talk, and I know a ton about what's going on with this house. Awesome notes. Can everybody kind of understand why Nathan is so successful at this? Like, look at the detail, look at his explanations. I love the you know, the way he ties things back, like he said that, you know, NEC is like the FDA for food. He's putting it in terms people can understand.
And then if you notice, the field soup just grabs the same slack and then just continues on it when the field soup goes.
Obviously, this is a different call. Can you go to the top of this call? Okay, so he gets his vitals, he puts all that in. And then I was curious about, okay.
Was this one actually a state fair also, or?
Go to the
Yeah.
top.
Okay, so it actually is a state fair one. Okay, I didn't realize that.
So it looks like this was a state fair inspection where he ended up selling a QCA.
Yep, I'm assuming if Tyler went out, we probably sold one. That's good. Yep.
Proper protection.
Is everybody doing this, or I don't know if Nate can hear us or not, but does he do that same thing on a repair call or an install call, like almost to this detail?
Yeah.
He's this detail on every call.
Awesome. Awesome. And then if you get to an install call, like install a ceiling fan,
Yep.
you can tie it back to that. So now it's like, yeah, I don't really care. I just want my ceiling fan installed. I understand, Mr. Jones, but the last thing I want to do is install your brand new ceiling fan, and then that thing burns out prematurely because of this voltage drop issue, right? Or
Yeah, he's shaking his head as that's what he does.
perfect, awesome. Yep, and then repair calls, I mean, again, it packs so much punch because it's like, yeah, I have a whole house problem now. I don't just have an outlet problem or a light problem. I have a whole house problem. And it sets up the field supervisor so much better because now the field supervisor doesn't have to convince them that they have a whole house problem. They already know, or the original technician, whoever's there.
Yeah, could we have Nate go through when he represents? Did she say after his inspection, like that reinforcement process too?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay, well, he'll have to make up stuff then because we don't have the time for him to do the complete inspection, right?
Yeah, just make up a scenario.
All right. We gotta get the homeowner back in place. What time is it? Oh, okay. All right, yeah, we got some time. So, what's the age of your home?
36.
36 years old, okay. So home is 36, so it probably does have some, so Nate, when you're doing the inspection, do you look to see what kind of wiring method there is?
Yeah, if I can, I'll open up the panel. Usually you can tell at the top of the panel what the wiring method are. If you can see if there's flex or Romex.
Okay,
Doesn't always mean that's what the whole house is, because obviously we know that it can leave the panel as some wiring and then change throughout the home.
okay,
Then I'll open up an outlet, see if it's backstabbed. Like I said, I'm out to the meter, check that out, make sure everything's good there. Double check to make sure the water meter has correct grounding and correct grounding throughout the home. There's a ground rod outside. Basically go through all these items and make sure that everything's covered like everybody does at your calls. I'll go out to the AC if I can, take a picture of the sticker so I can verify that the breakers are correct size, but sometimes the AC is too old and obviously the sticker is completely blank because of it's weathered down, at least in Minnesota. See if they have a sump pump, make sure that's working, it's on its own circuit. Smoke detectors, like they already seen, make sure they're interconnected or see if they are.
do you do the same thing with the microwave?
Yep, level check that. Breakers is a huge thing that I'll bring to the customer's attention when I go through this to make sure that they have shock guard and fire guard breakers. Also, surge suppression. This is where I'll bring that up if they don't have that as well and make that suggestion there.
Okay, well, I know this is gonna put you on the spot because you don't have a filled out safety evaluation. You haven't been through the process of trying to gather evidence to, again, present the QCA, but let's just do the best we can. All right.
Sure. Okay, Aaron, I finished my safety evaluation and as you can see, it's a 63-point inspection checklist, which is a stoplight program. So green is good, yellow is area of concern, and red is a safety hazard. As you can see here, for the most part, your panel does have some greens, but we do have some reds there. So there's areas of concern and safety hazards as well. In your panel, you don't have shock guard and fire guard protection. Those are very important. That's up to today's safety standards, especially not having fire guard breakers. Those are very important because they're now new safety standard that brings a huge protection into your home. Since they've been introduced, they prevented 98% of homes' electrical fires. So your panel is newer, so you can get those breakers to upgrade that as well. And I do like to point out also that you don't have surge suppression in your panel as well. We like to surge suppression in everybody's home. They get a minimum of 5 to 6 surge events a day. Let's say every time your air conditioner kicks on, that's taking a lot of current to get that motor in your air conditioner up and running. And once it's up to where it needs to be, it just releases all that current and then attacks the weakest points in your electrical system. So what the surge does, it has capacitors built in and it takes those over current and then slowly releases to your system so it doesn't affect your high-end appliances in your home, like again, your furnace, your washer. It does protect everything in your home from those surge events. As for the grounding, you didn't have your water meter jumped and you didn't have a complete grounding system. We like to see actual grounding wire from your panel all the way to your water meter and then have that jumped. Because again, when grounding is your safety net, and if you don't have a complete system, if any of your outlets or anything that doesn't have a completed grounding system can now be compromised. And when you plug in anything to those systems, you can get shocks. That's why we want to have a complete grounding system. Also for safety, again, we have the high voltage drop. That's one of the main concerns that we found in your home, especially when it's that high. It's very dangerous for all your appliances, anything electronic, and for you in your home. And then we also found that we don't have any interconnected smoke detectors or COs in your home as well. It just allows you extra time to get out of your home when those are interconnected, especially if you do have smoke detectors in the bedrooms, but when the door is shut, if a fire started in that bedroom and you're downstairs or your wife's downstairs in your office, you don't hear that smoke detector like you should if they're all interconnected, therefore not giving you enough time to exit your home. We have outlets that were backstabbed as well. When you have an outlet that's backstabbed, it's just.
Well, you're just going worst case scenario.
We did find a lot of concerns in your home, so there's a lot of important information here. That's again why I recommend doing that QCA, because I did find a lot more concerning things as I went throughout your home. But how would you like to move forward now that you know all this extra information?
Still got to talk to it.
Still have to talk to the okay. Okay. What I want to do then is I'll follow up with you. Just after you had the chance to talk to, do you guys think you will be able to chat tonight, or when do you think you'll be able to do that?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. Is it okay if I give you a call tomorrow then and follow up and see what you guys think?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, excellent. Do you have any questions about anything?
No.
Okay. All right.
If she has any questions, you'll find out tomorrow.
Okay.
Just so you guys know, Aaron's a big D, okay? Just so you know that.
Awesome. Like, I just want to take Nate and fly him around when I do my sales training classes, because he's literally doing it almost perfectly, everything. I just want everybody to know too on this call that in September, Nate ran 13 inspections and closed 7 of them. That are the electrical inspections, 54% closing rate. Like, so more than half of the safety inspections he ran, he sold probably a QCA on 7 of them. Like when I ran electrical inspections, I was lucky to close 1 out of 10. You know what I mean? So like, that's amazing. Now I didn't have a QCA system. I wish I did. And then he had a 75% closing rate on service and repair calls. And you can see why. The other thing I noticed is that the book of evidence, a lot of people don't like it. They think it's uncomfortable. They don't want to sit down with the customer. He went through that thing and you could tell he's done it a million times. He wasn't doing it because he was on camera, because there's no way he could have done it that well if he was just doing it for the camera. So while I know we get pushback on using that book of evidence, it builds a ton of value. It explains the company. And it builds value, because if you're going to walk up to a customer in the next 30 minutes and present a $300 to $1,500 job, you got to build some value. You can't just walk up without building value. And that book builds probably half of it. And then the QCA and the meter and the sheet builds the other half. They have to like and trust you and like and trust the company before they are going to buy anything. So I know me and Jeff harp on this system, but now you just seen it live from a guy who's successful in the field, and he's basically doing everything he's been taught to the T. Any questions for Nate before we hop off here? We got about 5 more minutes. If anybody wants to ask some questions, let's try to keep it specific to this process if we can.
Nate, do you have the prices filled out on the QCA form of how much they are?
No.
And why?
I found that when we did have the pricing on it before, people would just focus and look at the paperwork and the pricing and not really pay attention as well to me and what I was trying to explain. So we changed the sheet and then left the pricing out. Then I would just get them to acknowledge that they wanted a QCA. At that point, they're kind of already sold. Then it was easier to stomach the pricing after that.
So he would actually get them to agree to a field supervisor before the price would come out, which is amazing. And so we redid the whole QCA sheet to accommodate what he found was successful.
That's awesome. And I also like that because they probably in their head are gonna think it's way more expensive than it actually is because of the value, because of the detail. They probably are gonna think it's gonna be way more than it actually is.
I've had people say that they were surprised that's all it was.
That's the most beautiful answer you can get. That means you overly built value.
It also forces our technicians to actually put estimates for QCAs in Service Titan because they have to present them.
Good point.
The other thing, one of the things that I know that we faced is when we're presenting the QCA is they're saying, well, does the QCA include a repair?
It doesn't.
Right. I mean, I'm sure you've been asked that. Is that going to fix my problem? When you do that to my home, Nate, is that going to fix my problem?
Yeah, if they do ask that, what I'll say is that field supervisor will be able to handle that during the QCA process.
But think about it. If you're telling them the problem is within the entire home, how do you fix the entire home with a single repair?
Yeah, and it's a pretty easy answer that I would give. It'd be like the field supervisor. First, we got to know why this is happening, Mr. Jones. Let's figure out why this is happening, and then we'll figure out what we need to do. But right now, we got to figure out why this is happening, and the field supervisor will be able to do that. Or if you pay for the QCA, I'll be able to do that.
I kind of go back to the medical information where I say, let's say you have a medical problem. you go to the doc or the hospital. I'm the nurse. I check your blood pressure. Now I find out that yes, you do have a problem. So I recommend to go see the doctor. When you see the doctor, they're going to run an EKG test or an MRI, whatever they need to do. Then once they know what's going on, then they can offer you the correct treatment, similar to QCA. Let's get that field supervisor out here so they can figure out what's going on, and then they can offer you similar to a hospital visit.
I love that, man. That's great. That's why. Yeah, that's why I wanted to hear how you did the process. So I love this, man. This is solid. The thing that I was trying to get through my head was like the difference between the level 1, level 2, and level 3. It's mainly the surge protection. And so if we're not fixing the problem, I just didn't know how the surge protection correlates into that. So have you had success with selling the 2 and 3, or is it mainly the 1?
Mainly the 1. If they seem like they're drawn to the surge, I'll include that. And obviously if they have grounding issues throughout their home, I'll definitely push like level 3. But how I look at it is at least we can get them a field soup in the door with a level 1 is my bare minimum recommendation to them.
Yeah, I understand the difference between the 2 and the 3 is the grounding system, a complete grounding system.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is, guys, is we don't care per se what level they buy, because we're staring down the barrel of a whole house redevice, a whole house rewire, something like that. So we don't really care which one they buy. That literally the reason we have 3 options is just so it's not a yes or a no, it's a this or a that. Like that's really the reason. We don't even need 3 options. It's just literally like, so I'm not going to McDonald's with 1 choice. I have more than 1 choice. That's really the only reason.
No, I understand. No, that's good. No, I get it. That makes sense. Steve, do you have any questions?
All right. Any other questions, anybody? Again, this is an inspection, but I would do this exact thing on a repair call or an inspection call. And once you present the QCA, if you need help, get your manager on the phone and have them get on the phone, and then they'll explain all the reasons why they're concerned. So it's basically like a second opinion, an internal second opinion to sell the QCA, because now it's not only the technician saying it, the manager is actually willing to get on the phone. He's so concerned about it, he's on the phone trying to get then the customer to understand. And then just a quick plug on some of this stuff is, let's say we're on a house and they want to add an outlet in the living room and we have to arc fault that circuit. And the customer's like, I don't care about the QCA. The manager gets on the phone. Yeah, I don't care about the QCA. We add the outlet in the living room. 2 weeks later, the breaker trips, the arc fault has nothing to do with our wiring. Can that customer say we did a bad job? No, because we told them there were problems. So now that arc fault breaker is tripping, it's on the homeowner. We told them there's problems. We asked them to look into it. He didn't want to. So now we're off the hook. And now he has to buy a diagnostic to figure it out, because we told them there were problems before we put the outlet in. But what happens so often is that we don't bring up voltage drop. We don't bring up the QCA. We put in the outlet. We put an arc fault breaker on it. It trips. And now the customer just thinks we suck because we didn't prove beforehand that it's needed. There's so many different reasons. And on a repair call, again, it's to plant the seed of a whole house problem instead of just an outlet problem. So an install call, it's so important. On a repair call, it's so important. On an inspection call, it's literally part of your inspection. So every call you run.
That's right.
All right. Well, if nobody has any other questions, I think we'll log off.
All right, I just want to give a big thanks out to Nate for and for Aaron for helping us with this process this morning. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, and if nobody knows, Aaron's our electrical dispatcher and MSP if you've never seen his face before or talked to him. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys. Thank you. That was great.
All right. Everyone have a great day.
You too.